Buhay, thank you so much for joining me today. I am so blessed to have you as a friend, and I love your art. And we want to learn a little bit about you and what you can give for my students to inspire them. And I would love for them to see your work. So, first question that I have for you is, well, actually, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay. Anyway, my name is Buhay. It means life in English, right? It's a Filipino language, Buhay. And my last name is Mendoza. And I'm a self-taught artist, and I've been painting for almost 12 years now since I started. And right now, I'm a practicing artist. My recent exhibit was in New York, Manhattan, and I'll be back for next year's show again, and hopefully visit Chicago as well. So right now, I'm very thankful that Margie had invited me to share what I could, and maybe I could give some pointers and help you with improve your works.
I love that. I love that. We definitely need a lot of that. So, what is your background in art?
As I mentioned, I didn't go to any art school, but I attended some workshops here in our country, and I got pretty amazing friends, artist friends, who guided me and taught me, give me tips on how to improve my work. That's both principles and uh, in technical terms, and even how the process, what are the materials that you can use. If this doesn't work, what could be the substitute material that you can use in order to get the same effect. So those are the things that I've learned from the past. Though it's really really have to work hard, double your effort, because like what I said, I didn't go to any, or I don't have any formal training. All my experiences came from other people's experiences, and what they learned from their school, because they're the one who went to have a formal training in fine arts.
Well, you're pretty good for a self-taught artist. I just have to say.
Thank you.
Next question. What made you become an artist, I guess? What made you even bother with that whole field?
I really never thought about that, really. But when I was a kid, when I was in my secondary, I really wanted to be an artist. But a lot of people are trying to discourage me because financially they're not stable, right? But I beg to disagree right now, since I'm doing this for almost a decade now. Um, yes, it's gonna be hard, but I always wanted to be a painter, but I really never intended to be one. It just, I think it's a calling. It just came right in front of me, and I just took it and embrace it. So that's what really happened. But I think if you are really called for it, even if you don't plan anything, it will come to you. You just need to enjoy. Yeah, you just need to enjoy everything about your life.
That's good. How long have you been painting?
As I mentioned earlier, almost a decade now, more or less, around 12 years.
12.
And so far, I'm still trying to learn. I know that there's more rooms for improvement, right? In order to master whatever I've been doing right now. And it's really fun because you will experience a lot of ups and downs, victories, achievements, disappointments, of course. That's part of the journey as an artist.
You just get back up and keep doing what you do.
Yeah. I mean, if you are meant to do this, it will always give you a reminder not to let go of your dream and what you're passionate about. So I think that's the beauty of of being an artist. I don't want to say that this is only exclude. I'm trying not trying to exclude myself or ourselves or artists alike, but I mean, whatever you do in life, if you are being called for it, just go for it, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. I love it. What's your favorite medium?
I beg your pardon?
What's your favorite medium that you use?
Medium. Mostly I'm using oil and watercolor. If I got tired with using oil, and if you're doing all for a certain period of time, just to get a breaker, I do watercolors. So those were my comfort zone, oil and watercolors. Yeah. But
Wow.
right now I'm experimenting with other materials. I try to make research on what could I add on my on my artwork in order to provide because when you try to conceptualize, you have these ideas that you wanted to give more meaning and establish more feeling towards the viewer. So I try to experiment with materials to try and make association with the artwork and the viewer.
I love that. So true. What would you call your style?
Um,
Style of painting.
Before I didn't know what it was called like, but when I compared my works to those that I can find in the internet, it's called lowbrow art or pop surrealism.
Lowbrow out. All right. Yes.
So it's a no holds bar on what kind of image are you going to put in your artwork. It could be you can add realism or any icon characters on your artwork. And the good thing about lowbrow is, even though they do use this kind of images, the mastery of technique is there, and you can really, if you're gonna scrutinize and check all the artwork, especially the Japanese artists, um, it's really amazing. I mean, the technique is really there, and the mastery is, you know, shows with their artworks. It's
Mhm.
really really good.
So it's not realist. It's a hodgepodge of realism, surrealism, pop art,
Yes,
just a
yes.
whole mixture of.
It, it's more of a narrative kind of artwork. When you try to express some ideas regarding a certain topic, or whatever experience you have, whether it's personal or social realism. I mean, in regards with society or political, those kind of ideas.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yes.
So, do you have any works to show us?
Yeah, I have a couple here of artworks. Okay, let me show this one. Yeah, I call this Made in China.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I created this one because I had a bad experience actually with Chinese people, and this is how I represent what I have experienced in Pudong, China. All right, so
Okay. So,
though I can't judge, whatever happened at the time, maybe I still don't understand the full culture, but this is what
so it
brought
wasn't
me.
a good experience, and this is your interpretation of what happened.
Yeah, so it's more of a political and social kind of thing.
I love it. What's the name of the painting?
Made in China. That's the title.
Made in China. Very appropriate.
So that's the one.
I love
And I
it.
have another one here. This is not yet finished. I still have to make some adjustments on this one.
Oh my goodness, that's really, really intriguing.
Yes. So this is regarding, the organization or people who try to lure, you know, um, men in terms of their beliefs and trust regarding faith. So how they're being controlled, by their religious or the sects or the cults that they're trying to, show to other people.
Wow.
So that's the meaning of this one. This one is called the herd.
The herd.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
that's
when
a
try,
real painting?
yeah, it's a painting.
Beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Oh, thank you. And the last one I got here. This is the this is actually a series. It's still a work in progress.
I really love that one.
Yeah.
I have to
I tried to enhance. These are portraits of my friends, right? Mostly of women, and I try to convert them into an animated character. So I just want to have fun, doing them, and try to do narratives on the paintings or the portraits, just to characterize or to bring life on the person's character.
I love that. So that one's completely finished.
No, it's still a work in progress. Maybe it's around 40% done. It's not yet finished. That's the one I'm trying to finish right now.
Oh,
And I'm planning to have maybe one set around 12 paintings of this size, so that I could exhibit it, maybe offer it to one of the galleries here.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, Now that you showed us the paintings, are there any tips you want to give us?
Basically, in terms of paintings, using oil, I just do the basic ones like glazing, scumbling, which is appropriate to the artwork or with your intention on why are you going to work with this one. Sometimes I put some texture on the painting because I feel like doing some experiment like what I said and try to associate them with whatever icons or um, you know the intention that I want to do with the artwork. Let's say, for example, I have a painting before that I showed or exhibited in New York. It's more of an abstract one, which I try to associate the texture with the ingredients of a food, like a recipe. So I try to put different kind of texture and patterns in order to symbolize the ingredients that they're using in a cuisine or in a dish, and use colors on it, put some figures, those kind of things. So what I can tell them and give them advice is to experiment, never stop experimenting. uh, that's where you can discover uh, your own, not voice, but your own ideas or your own self in your artwork. And aside from the color palette that you're using, because um, you know, I believe each artist has their own palettes, right?
Mhm.
And you cannot copy whatever the values or the tones that you're using in that artwork, and you will find the consistency on each works that you're going to do regarding your palette, because that's you. That's your character. That's yourself. And I think that's what makes an artist different from the other, because of those kind of taste and personal background experiences. So my only advice is just to enjoy painting, never be scared or afraid to experiment, and don't be afraid to be criticized, because as long as there are people who criticize, it means you need to work more for your artwork to be accepted. So you just need to be honest with yourself.
Sweet.
Honesty, that's the best thing that you could equip yourself as an artist.
I love that. I love that. Um, it was interesting when you showed the painting and you, especially being in China, having a bad experience and just using, I guess, your artwork as a platform. What messages do you like to talk about with this platform in your art?
It's like in songwriting, that you try to uh, just jot down whatever experience or you know point of view or ideas that you have encountered or seen in your life. I wanted to show that. I mean, it's a personal thing. When I paint, I usually paint from my own experiences or my friends' experiences, or if I'm being compelled by a situation that happened in my society or in my country. So those are the ideas that inspires me to work or be heard visually by other people. So I really try to work with ideas that I could show visually that can be accepted. You know, you try to show them what you feel inside, all right, regarding a situation or you know or an event that you wanted to emphasize. Because what good thing about art is you can influence people with what you see, like what Picasso did during his active years, right? He tried to voice out everything that he experienced, and people felt that, especially with the the portraits of her women, right?
Mhm.
And people can relate, even though they really don't understand what was being shown to them, but they feel something when they see the paintings, and that's what I'm trying to to do in order to show my art and to make people felt what I felt. Um, it's a good thing regarding the situation that we are experiencing right now because we have technology and it gave us an access to the world. You're not being limited to those people who are around you, but now other people can see your work, and if they felt something about it, that's really good because the message was sent successfully, and I think that's my intention, right? And why I'm doing art every day, or I try to finish an artwork, just to share my thoughts and ideas to the world.
That's a superpower of being an artist because you can really get your stuff out there.
Yeah,
Speak to the masses, right?
yeah.
I think it's a superpower.
Well, yeah, but you can get, you cannot get, you're not breaking any rules anyway. You're just showing your opinion,
Yeah, right.
and if it's a free country, what's there to hold you back?
Freedom of
Show
speech.
them what you yeah. Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
Speak your
exactly.
mind. Yeah.
Love that. um, who are your favorite artists, influences?
There's a lot. There's a lot. From the old masters to the new masters. But definitely, one is Picasso. I already mentioned Salvador Dali. I love Japanese artists. Yoko de Hobachi is one of them. Hattori Naoto. Uh, Mark Ryden. Basically, they are lowbrow artists, the ones that I mentioned. And if you're going to see their works, it's really powerful. Even though there's a twist of a childlike figure in their artworks, but if you're going to decipher the meaning behind each icons or symbols, you're going to see it's that they're trying to you know say something profound regarding their paintings, and it's really really nice. I mean, you know trying to make something out of those ordinary things that you can see around you, like what Andy Warhol did, right? He promoted or championed all these regular products that you can see in the market, or what people are wearing, and it became an art. I mean, who would have thought that Coca-Cola will become a form of art, right?
True.
Just by doing silkscreen. So, there's a lot of things that we could talk about regarding art. And what I can also share is do not stop reading, learning, um, and meet a lot of people, meet a lot of good artists. You I think that's the best thing that you can enjoy of being an artist. Socialize, expose yourself to life.
That is so true. I think it's so important to be in a community of like-minded people, of artists
Mm.
that will challenge you and inspire you to continue to paint and develop as an artist. And I don't think that being alone helps. You know what I mean? There's no inspiration there. There's no push,
True.
you know?
Um, you know, that's one of the main reasons why I went back to the outskirts of in the city, because there's a lot of people in the suburban who are not really exposed to art, especially here in our country. So the government doesn't have any support, and only the private individuals who are patrons are giving us the opportunity to do what we love, right?
Could you tell us
And
where you are right now? I
I'm
didn't mention
sorry.
that in the beginning. Can you tell us where you are right now? I didn't mention that in the beginning.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in Quezon Province. This is a province here in the Philippines. And one of the tourist spots here is the mountain that I mentioned earlier, which is called Mount Banahaw. It's a holy mountain. I don't know really the history about it, but they consider it as a sacred mountain. And what I don't know, I got okay. The reason why we went here is just for a vacation, for 2 weeks vacation. But when the first night, the following morning that I woke up, I felt like I want to live here. So without in a snap, I decided, okay, let's stay here. Let's find a place to stay and let's settle here. Let's buy a house here, and this is where I want to live, because this is just 2 hours away from the city. All I need to have is just you just need a car, and you can be in the city in 2 hours. So I think this is the perfect place for me to do my artwork, because it's close to nature and the weather is really really good. The locals are very accommodating and very friendly. So what's there to ask for? I mean, I have already moved away from a toxic life in the city, you
Yeah.
know. So I think being an artist is finding yourself and uh, be more of uh, be useful to the community, because a lot of people has this impression with artists that we are a bomb, that we're not earning money, those kind of stereotyping, right?
Yes.
So if,
That's so not
if,
true.
if they if you tell them that you're an artist, the first thing comes in their mind, this person doesn't have a life. I mean, he's not earning. He doesn't want to work. Even
Exactly.
my family, until now, until even if I could say that I'm a practicing artist, that I've been exhibiting to a lot of galleries. I don't know how many galleries that I have exhibited my works with. They still have that kind of notion at the back of their mind that you, you know, their barometer of being a successful is to have lots of money. But of course, that's different with artists.
Yeah.
We don't need to get, you know, well, some of us may have the opportunity or have a chance to be really, really successful in terms of monetary, but for me, for you to have a strong legacy, especially what you could share in the art world, I mean, that's the most important to me as a person, as an individual, that I could share to those children or kids who followed you or believes in you. So I think that's the most important thing, what you could share to them.
What you leave behind and making sure that
Yes, exactly. Because a lot of people will talk about it. They won't tell you. They won't tell about how successful you were, that you earn a lot of money. They won't. They won't tell stories about that. What will they talk about is what is your art? What was your contribution? what did you
Exactly.
do, while you were still alive, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the more important.
And
Anything
what
else?
about you? Because I want to know who the artist was and why did they paint this and what what
True,
inspired them to do that? You know, what messages were they trying to leave behind? You know, it's just a whole mystery of good stuff, right?
true, true.
My next question: have you had times when you felt stuck in a rut, like you couldn't, you paralyzed and you couldn't paint, you were inspired? You know, I know that I've had times like that where I've been stuck. You know that, and so many artists that just go through these phases that we just don't
Well,
know.
I think it's pretty normal for an artist to to be in that situation. Not all of us. I mean, especially if there are many, if you had changes in your life, like having a family or having some misfortune along the way. I think it's really normal for an artist to experience that. But always remember, if you are called to be an artist, you can never really let go of that. No matter how depressing your situation is, you will find a way to paint just to put yourself at ease. And the most important thing is for you to pray. Always talk to God, because He's the one who gave you the gift. He's the one who called you to be an artist. So I
Amen.
think it's very important. Yeah, it's very important for you, to talk to Him. Give some time,
Yeah.
maybe around 10 to 15 minutes of just being silent and talk to Him. Try to keep yourself together, and everything would pass. It doesn't rain all the time, right?
Right? So true.
So you always look for the rainbow. So that's what I could tell you about these kind of things. Never try to isolate yourself from other people, especially if you're really down, because what you need is, inspiration. Even the great old masters experience this kind of, situation. So especially to us, middle age, um, I think it's really very important for you to keep yourself together. Never lose hope. Age is just numbers. Do not compete with other people. Just focus on yourself. I think
Exactly.
that's the best advice that I could give. I may not be, have the authority to say this, but I think, from my own opinion, yeah, I think that's the best thing that you could do. Always keep yourself together. Never compete with other people. Never compare yourself to other people. Just, just try to identify what makes you happy. What really makes you happy. So for me, the most important thing is embrace yourself with those people who really believe in you, like your family, your siblings, your friends, your true friends, right? So I think that's the best important thing that you could keep yourself to keep yourself going and do whatever you need to do.
So true. It's so true. Last question.
Okay.
What advice would you give someone who says, I want to become an artist?
Stuff. Yeah, a lot of people actually I have observed, especially here, that they misconceptualize the idea of being an artist, because it's like you're just having fun, just pick up your brush and paint whatever you want to do and then sell it at high price. That's their concept of being an artist right now. That let's say, for example, a standard size of 24 by 18, you can sell it for $1,000 or $1,500, even though you don't have a good foundation in, in this field. I mean, for you to become an artist, first you need to be honest with yourself, because you're going to experience a lot of challenges. It's not really easy. When you say being an artist as a career, it means you need to have that professionalism attitude. You need to have work ethics. You need to discipline yourself. It's fun, yes, because you're doing what you love to do. But when it comes to the reality of, especially if you have a family, how can you feed them? That's the thing that you need to sort things out. Because most of the artists, even myself, I do have a part-time job in order to keep up with the bills. At the same time, I can, will do whatever I want, especially with my career. And you need to find a supportive partner, because other than that, it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
You need to have a supportive partner, someone who really understands what you're doing.
And so
Otherwise,
people that
Stacy,
will understand what you're doing is be supportive, right?
true.
It's so true.
So I will not discourage them, but I just want them to realize uh, what they wanted, right? They need to experience it themselves for them to realize what they really want. Because art is for everybody. Do not discourage them. Do not give them criticism or any negative comments. Just support them, but give them some realization that is this what you really wanted to do? Because if it's not, then try to balance everything. You can always paint as a hobby, right?
Hmm.
Because if you want to be a successful artist, that's really hard. Because if you are destined to become successful in this field, no matter what you're going to do, you're going to be. So don't chase for something that's not meant for you. But what you can achieve here, is paint successfully. Be happy with your artwork. Because if you're going to go down to the basic, thinking like a child. I remember when I was 6 years old, when I was able to successfully draw a good drawing for my age. I felt happy, you know, and that's priceless. And that's one thing that I'm trying to, keep remind myself each time I paint. As long as I created a good one, a good painting, that is already a success.
Exactly.
Just be happy with what you're doing, and everything will follow. Because if your artwork is really good, people will pay for it, even though you're not selling them.
Hmm.
Because they were able to relate on what you did, on what you have expressed. So, just enjoy being an artist. If they really wanted to be an artist, make sure to learn all the things that they needed in terms of marketing, how to present themselves to the galleries, your behavior towards other people. These are small things that other artists didn't notice. And to become a successful, you really have to be careful in what you're doing, even outside your studio, on how you socialize with people. It's very important to balance yourself.
Hmm.
That's part of the business. Being an artist is also a business. You need to be a businessman as well. Otherwise, you won't be able to make it, with galleries. You need to
That's
have
yeah.
principle.
That's interesting that you bring that up because I have a lot of students that they want to learn how to paint and they want to sell their work. And I think a lot of people don't realize that you really need to know how to market yourself, how you have to educate yourself on the business side of the art world. It's not about just painting and getting it out there. There's so much more that you need to do. You know what I mean? And you have to prepare yourself if you want to be successful. And that goes with anything in life anyway. You need to know the business side of it.
Yes. Yes. Um, I'm sharing this one because I have experienced a lot of mistakes, for the past 12 years that I've been in the industry. And it's like when you have a chance to correct them as early as now, correct them. The most important thing in this field,
Mhm.
in terms of the business side, make your painting sellable. Make it really, really good because the competition is really steep. It's really tough. There's a lot of good artists around. Universally, there's a lot of good artists,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their nationality or ethnicity. There's a lot of people that are really good, but always put your heart in your artwork. That makes the difference.
That's good. Yeah.
But
Don't
so,
paint what you think other people want to see. Paint
yeah,
what's inside of you.
yeah, what's inside of you.
Yeah.
And if you were able to, share uh, those intimate or innermost thoughts that you have, I mean, it would be very effective. I mean, I'm not really, really good, but luckily, people buy my thing, buy my paintings.
Well, you're really good. Like, I know what you're talking about. You're really good.
Thank you. So, yeah, just keep on, doing what you love. Try to improve yourself. And I believe this is one of the careers that you, you know, there's no retirement in this career. That's what I'm trying to say. Even if you age 90, as long as you can paint, and the more you age, the more your paintings become deeper and profound in terms of the message that you're trying to convey in your artwork. So I think that's the most important thing about being an artist. That's the special thing about us, you know.
Yes. It's very true. Very, very true. So I'm going to wrap this here up in a minute. How can my students find your work and your website?
Um,
How can they
I
contact
have I'm setting up my website again, but right now it's under Weebly. It's www.buhaymendoza.weebly.com, or they can search it via Google. They'll see some of the articles that wrote about me, some of the interviews that I did before. So yeah,
Thank you so much. I'll make sure to put all that
thank
information
you.
down so that everybody can find you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can't wait.
Thank you, Tumar. I mean, it's my pleasure, and I'm really honored that you chose me to be featured in your website. And yeah, I'm also a fan of yours since way back. And I hope it could, yeah, the plan that we have a show, hope it could materialize soon. You know, maybe we could
Yes,
discuss that one.
yes,
So,
definitely.
and I'm
Thank
looking
you so
forward.
much.
Don't worry. I will update you with all the paintings that I'm gonna be doing starting now. Because after a 2 year or 3 years laid back, that I wasn't able to be prolific unlike before. I think I could. I don't know. Maybe it's the maturity. When you grow older, you become wiser. You try to be more careful on what you're doing.
That's true.
But yeah, at least it's more accurate. Doing stuff that you are really confident doing. So I think that's the beauty of this journey.
Yes, it is.